Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin.
Laurie's sideways, you guys, and I think we've always suspected as much. But my name is Jackie Cation. I'm wearing something sleeveless. I don't do it usually. It's warm. Yeah. Look at it. Look at a shoulder, you guys. It's the city of the big shoulders, Cation.
Actually, that's Chicago, right? According to Carl Sandburg. Yeah.
Wow, literary reference. Well played, Kilmartin.
Thank you. I have one, and that's it. I'm in Manhattan, and it's both hot and rainy, which is a terrible combo. I like cold rain, and I like hot dryness.
And I like. It sounds wet. It sounds moist. It sounds uncomfortable.
Moist.
Do you have the air conditioning possibilities?
Yeah, I have AC. I prefer to open a window. I like to
get wet.
Always.
Always. All right. Wow. Hey, I hear you're dating. You're trying some dating.
What are you doing? Why are you setting up jokes? What are you, Johnny Carson or something? What are you, Byron Allen?
Hey, did you see that they're doing? I was Unleashed on Thursday.
I am so
all
excited.
over network television.
I'm
not. I couldn't have felt more leashed. Yeah,
you were very leashed. That show. For our non-comic friends, you would basically, Byron Allen would set you up, and you would do one of your oldest bits that has already been on TV for 10 years because it was evergreen, and he knew you didn't want to burn new material on his show, which I appreciate.
Wow, nobody told me any of this. I did all new material.
What? Are you serious? Oh, yeah. Jackie, no.
Who cares? It was 30 years ago.
Jackie, when I did it, I was the mother of a child from a Hispanic man, and I was talking about dating a Russian. So, that's how behind I was, and it didn't matter. So,
I know some Russians. If you want to recreate that, do you want?
No, thank you.
Okay, all right.
No, thank you.
I have this to say. That was the best way to put that. Byron Allen would set you up. Here's what I remember. I believe I did the show twice. Ooh. I remember someone saying, okay, just what does he say? And then you do the joke. Yes. He didn't know what the joke was. And that first time I was actually on with Harlan Williams.
Yeah.
And he would not stop being so dark and so mean.
Oh my God.
Byron became more and more irritated, but it was Harlan Williams, so he got away with it. Me,
sure.
They probably would have stopped recording. God knows, but
I love it. He didn't even have to know your name. It was all on cue cards. So Jackie.
So Jackie, I understand you moved to Los Angeles.
Let's break this down. Why would you understand that, Byron? You don't even know her name, and you don't know where she lives. Why would you understand that she just moved to LA? No questions.
He understands things. No questions.
I love it.
And no dialogue, and no get to know anybody, and just enormously leashed stand-up comedy.
Completely.
Is what it should have been called.
Genius. And it was mostly old material. It was almost like posting old clips, but you just redid them on his show. He didn't pay enough.
Seeded. $450.
Yeah, and because of Bernadette Pauley, that's why we get any residuals. Is like she went to bat.
She took the time to sue him.
Yes,
and now we all get residuals. Yeah.
It's not much, but it's something. And so I'm excited to see what you'll get, because now it's airing on a network. That's a first air on a network. It's not. So I wonder if you'll get first air money. I'm excited for your check, Jackie.
Well, stay tuned, Jackie and Laurie fans. I'm willing to tell you some numbers 3 months from now, because that's how long it takes usually to run the residuals, right?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So yeah.
So there's that. That's good. What else happened? There was some other weird. Poor Tom Segura. I have this to say. I saw him on Twitter. I've always liked him. He might have gone mad with power, or he might terrible day. I'll tell you what he did do. He made a terrible choice, and he flew American Airlines. But he literally tweeted out that some woman at the gate, he had to gate check his bag, man.
Yeah.
And it must have driven him mad. Like, it must have been the final straw, because he not only, I mean, I don't know what he did in the moment. I don't remember. There was no video, right? He literally pulled the rope out, threw it over a tree, tied it around his neck, and then hoisted himself up, because he called her a cunt twice in a tweet, and then tagged American Airlines.
You know, I let me just say,
I love Tom Segura, but he must have had a bad day, or
travel is hell. It is truly hell, and I'm assuming he was pushed to his limit. I have no idea. I was shocked that, I mean, he must not have been flying first class. I don't think they bag check first class, and I would assume at his
there's
level,
always room at first class.
right?
It must have been always a last minute. Totally
right,
because I thought he also
like one of those
had
tiny,
a private.
oh
Yeah,
like an American Eagle flight or something like that, maybe.
it might have been a small plane. It might have been a last minute thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a private jet. All of the things, but here's my question to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do when you're pushed to that limit? How do you go to the airport? Let's walk me through this, because I'll tell you what I do after.
Can I just say I love it when comics melt down about airlines. It's my favorite thing. The harder they go, the harder they fall, the happier I am.
Yeah, you could have stopped that at I love it when comics melt down, because if you remember last week's episode when you were grabbing popcorn and I was trying to tell that guy to stop talking about the one thing over and over again, you're just like, oh, I love this stuff. Anyway, so what do you do?
You know, I think the maddest I got in the last year was at Spirit Airlines because of the extra fees that they don't tell you until you get to the airport. And I was like enraged, but then I could see the soul had left the gate agents, maybe after the 2-week initiation period, and she was just doing her job. And I was like, all right, I vow to never, ever, ever fly Spirit again. I don't care how low those airfares are, how tempting it looks, because
they are not low. They are normal once you get to sit down and have a bag and a glass of water. What's going on over there?
My roommate has a dog, and I just heard a squeaky toy in my room, and I was like, oh my God, is Rudy in here? But I guess he was just near the door. Sorry, I just heard squeaks. And then I was like, wait, is that a rat? But no, anyway, it's all good.
It is slightly disconcerting that you seem to be lying on a floor in a bomb shelter talking to me about stand-up comedy.
I'm in a comfy chair.
So what you're saying is that you don't lose your temper. You have never yallered at, as my grandmother would say, to yell and to holler, to yaller. You've never yallered at a gate agent in the last year?
I feel like you have some video and you're waiting for me to say no so you can show the clip.
Let's cut to the clip, Kyle. Cut to the clip.
I don't think so. I do know when I was remember at Southwest Airlines, I had the massive layover when they collapsed at Las Vegas. I may have almost cried or looked so depressed, but that actually helped the lady because I wasn't yelling at her.
Right.
Yeah. And, you know, as you and I are both aware, any video of us yelling at an airline employee is terrible, terrible news for our careers.
Yeah, it's not going to go well. I once had I had a meltdown one time in front of the first time I went to JFL to Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot my my passport.
Oh, so here's the thing. It's kind of your fault, right?
Oh, entirely.
Yeah.
As I sat down sobbing in front of the gate, in front of the thing, like a tiny baby. I cried. And then it was, I believe, 2002, 2001. Okay. And so I called.
Were you doing New Faces?
I believe I was.
Okay.
And so I called my friend Spencer Dobson at the time, my friend, a very funny comic who, whatever, long story, but he came and brought me he had keys to my apartment, and so he brought me and it was fine. And the line was so long that I just got back in the line. I still had 3 people. And I think it was like an agent or a manager who was in front of me who said, I didn't think he was going to make it in time. And
that's helpful.
Yeah, it was, well, I thought, but it was so interesting because by the time I got up, I was like, I'm so glad I'm not famous because this would have somehow gotten out.
Well, it's even better when it's your fault and you're having a meltdown. For me, it's even more delightful to watch.
Yes, it is. And that would have been his fault. Just because you gate check, they can't do, if they have to gate check your bag, they have to gate check your bag.
Right. And
it's not a hobby. It's not like someone's decided I want to gate check things. Not a power play.
I think also, like, if you get to the gate, even if you have like an elite seat or something, but if you're late and all the bins are full, there's no place to put it. So yeah,
there's no place to put it. It turns out those are your choices. Did you want them to throw it on the runway and then you get to get on the plane? Because there's nothing else. Anyway, but I will say, here's what I do when I go, because it's been years since I've snapped, but what I do now, patience wise, is I wear earbuds. I listen. I've been listening to the same 40 songs for a decade, and I've added some new songs. I've deleted some songs that were I'm done. And but so I probably have 100 songs right now, some of which I need to be deleted because I buy albums. Because I always think, buy an album. There might be songs that you don't know about that are on an album, and here's what I think. What do you think? What do you guys think, Kyle? Also a music person.
I think that's the coolest thing you've ever said.
Very possible because I think that there's usually, like, if it's a good album, there might be 4 good songs on it, and I might not have known about those other 3 unless I get a whole album. Anyway.
Jackie, I'm sorry. When did you become a music aficionado? This is absolutely new information to me.
I just want you to know that you guys have decided to become cool.
You're soft launching your new personality. Got it. You love music now. I got it.
Okay.
I had a joke about a Cardi B lyric on my last album, and I'm like, I'm such a fraud. I don't know any of your music. I just know this lyric. It's about the lyric, but why? I don't deserve to talk about music. Okay.
I don't deserve it.
I still work out to the same Black Eyed Peas song on the treadmill, and that's it.
Yeah.
I got a feeling. All right. That takes me to a new level. That's all I need.
It brings you the inner peace. I will say this. I used to do a joke about, and what I say is that if you have a joke about a cool piece of music, but it's the only cool piece of music. I used to have a sort of a chunk about hip hop, and it was about Boogie Down Productions and Big Daddy Kane and Eric B. and Rakim. And the only reason I know any of them is because KRS-One had a song called Jimmy Hat in 1989, and it made me laugh so hard that I bought all of his albums. I listened to them, and any band that he mentioned in his lyrics, I bought their album. So for like 4 years, I listened to a lot of hip-hop, which, by the way, in my opinion, reminded me a lot of country music because it was always about a story. It was always a story. I love a song that has a nice story.
Is KRS-One from Oakland?
No,
you know?
He's New York. That's Queens or Brooklyn or something like that.
Okay.
Knowledge reigns supreme.
South Bronx, the South Bronx.
Oh, South Bronx. You're right. South Bronx.
Okay.
Knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone.
We've
is
ruined
what
his career talking about him this much on this podcast.
But he's like an activist, right? Or
Yeah.
He was?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, his DJ Scott LaRock got shot trying to interfere. Just trying to help help a couple
Is
of
this-
people. He ended up getting shot. It was very
Is
sad.
this conversation actually happening, or am I
Right?
dreaming right now?
Well, you're lying down in
I'm not.
some sort of gulag. Yeah, I don't know.
Sitting in
You're-
a chair. Here, I'm in a chair.
It's,
You see?
see?
Yeah,
See?
I'm in
There's
a corner.
chair. All right. Right. You're in a
Jackie,
Nobody puts Laurie in the corner. Laurie puts Laurie in the corner.
I love it when the club goes, what song do you want to be brought up to? Oh, the only song I know,
Christ.
99 Red Balloons by Nina.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
God, that used to be my least favorite question. And then how Maria always answers it, Maria Bamford. This is how she answers it. Well, what are you listening to?
That's smart. That's really
It is
smart.
It's great. Just pick something. Pick something you like. It's literally going to be 7 seconds of a song.
Yeah, right.
So, if I pick something because I think it's funny, which I tried to do, it's 7 seconds and nobody gets the joke. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's but the person bringing you up wants to feel like they're doing a good job being the
Right.
show DJ. I get it.
right. So I think that's kind of the best answer.
Yeah. I'm going to steal it.
Yeah, really.
another
it's
Comedy
stock.
tip I've stolen from Maria Bamford.
Stock tip.
Yeah.
We did the Zoom show.
That was so fun. And how many people do
really
we have
fun.
all together?
Four comics, and then you and I.
No, I mean audience-wise. Who cares about the comics?
Kyle, you could do the next one. We had Virginia do this one, and it was 96 people.
Nice.
Wow. That's not bad.
That's
and
great.
everybody and
You're
I
away
got
from
to
Lou for a little bit.
I got to try my new joke, which I refused to try last night because he's actually a really funny. Was his name like? I know his last name was Fury. Stephen Fury. Do you know Stephen Fury? San
No.
Francisco comic.
I know Nick Fury. That's a Marvel
yeah,
character,
so do I.
correct?
So do
Okay.
I. I'm familiar with Nick Fury and the iterations.
Mhm.
I don't know if you ever read the Max title. Let's talk about comic books. Anyway, so nope. In other news,
Jackie,
I am killing it. I'm killing it with Kyle today.
You're hijacking an airplane and flying it into the sea.
Tom Segura would totally do that. No. It's
Coming in hot.
Coming in hot. But no, his name was Stephen Fury. I did West Side last night, West Side Theater.
Mhm.
Where, by the
I
way,
love West
we all got crisp $20 bills. And I said to Robert, the door guy, I was like, "This is the greatest idea ever." Since I have to figure out how to deposit a $20 check,
And they get
over-
folded up into 50 corners, and then you can't deposit it with your phone.
I
You have
don't
to
know
iron
what
it
to-
or something.
it's
Thank God.
just- yeah.
When will the
I-
Laugh Factory just start paying us the night of the spot? I swear I'm owed so much money from Long Beach because they didn't log it that I was there. So
Oh.
annoying.
Oh, that is annoying.
Yeah.
So I came up with one new line last night in my my driving bit, which is good.
Mhm.
I was so mad. I'm opening for Maria tonight, Saturday. We're recording this in Torrance.
Mhm.
And when I go to Philly and Pittsburgh and Chicago, I'm going to work on the bit because it's Maria Bamford audiences. My own audience is incredibly giving and very supportive, but I work clubs where there's a lot of walk-ins.
Yeah.
And it's not like Maria's audiences, which are all her people. And so I'm gonna tonight I'm gonna try it's my America bit.
Oh, I like it.
I came up with another punchline. So you guys, there's 4 in this 12-minute TED Talk. Christ on a cracker. Anyway, but
Yeah. I was at the Broadway all night last night. I had
yeah,
3
you were.
spots, and
How many sets you got tonight?
I have 5 tonight. But last
Nice.
night, I was like, it was okay. The first 2 were decent, and then I was like, I have to start talking to the audience because they're so like they really need to be. So I just did an old bit, my old dog stuff. That's
Oh yeah.
like talking to the crowd basically, and that kind of cracked them open. But I forgot that that really helps in New York. Like LA, you can kind of go right into your I'm just used to here's how I feel like about short sets. Like I've got 15 minutes, I got 10 minutes. I got to work material out. I don't care what you do for a living. And you're tired of telling people. So let's agree that I'm just going to do jokes. But, I think the Broadway too gets it's so many tourists that they really do need to be talked to a little bit, but it's such a short amount of time. It's whatever, but that's okay. That's just what it is. So I was reminded of that lesson that I need to like learn every time, every weekend I'm here. So whatever. So I have like 5 tonight, 2 at New York Comedy Club, both of their rooms, and then 3 at the Broadway.
Okay. I have to say that I think the West Side is a little bit like that New York thing.
I think so too.
Paula V hosted last night.
Mm-hmm.
And she destroyed. She came in, she was late because she had been pulled over by the cops. And the cop was
Wow.
like, she was like, I'm a little nervous. I said, look, you lived. And she was like, that is valid. And because the guy was, he was like, well, I think you ran that light. And she said, I did not run that light. There was a white couple that I made eye contact with as they walked past my car. And then he said, well, I could take you downtown and we can have this conversation. And
what?
then she had to fold. But yeah.
That's such a movie. That's such a movie way to put it too. I can take you downtown. A cop said that. That's crazy.
It's just a creepy crash
kind of way running a red light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when she was probably already downtown. No, I don't know. But she ended up talking to the audience a fair amount and crushed. She crushed. The rest of us, it took like a minute and a half, 2 minutes to get the audience on board. Yeah. What happens when the audience is quiet is I tend to speed up. I'm like, oh, fine. Then I'll just tell all of these jokes at once and you fuckers can laugh 2 hours from now. I don't have time for you bastards. And so that's what I did. I did all the mother-in-law jokes. It's probably a 5-minute bit, 6-minute bit. I did it in about 4. And then I did the driving joke, which was, and I forgot the third chunk of it because it's pretty new and it's hard to get all the beats. But I had fun. I had a really good time.
It's weird. When I was up on the last show last night, the 2 comics in front of me, they did so much of talking about ethnicity, like theirs and the audience's. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll do this joke about my son being Hispanic because that's all I have ethnicity wise.
So unless you wanted to really lean into being Whitey Magoo. Yeah.
Another person's life. So yeah, I mean, that was that. And, but it's when you watch other comics, it's like interesting to see what everyone is talking about, everyone is sort of like this, everyone talks about their sexuality. It's a lot of that, which is, it is what it is. I wonder, like, as an audience member, if you're watching and the 4th person in a row tells you who they have sex with, like, is that a lot, or just is that what everyone's used to now? I have no idea.
I just picture just a table going, is this the 4th person in a row telling me who they have sex with? I mean, sure, it's interesting. Because, sexuality or the lack of, right, does seem to be a very, very popular topic.
Yeah.
By the way, I've renamed my poop joke a relationship joke. It is no longer a poop joke.
So someone finds your notebook after the apocalypse, they'll think you did a relationship closer instead of a shit closer.
Exactly. Gotcha. You know it. Just trying to whitewash. Huh?
I would call it the barrel joke.
Which is that how you'd put it in the? All right.
Yeah, that's how I put it in the old
I actually don't mind that.
Close on the barrel and get the fuck out,
Yeah, close on the barrel joke. I've actually changed the name of the bit now because that actually is a pretty good track title.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to having more new material. I have so much new material, which is great. but it has so many moving parts. I
Mhm.
can't wait till it's tight and everyone's happy. And when I say everyone, I mean me.
I wonder, what if we did a residency someplace, you and I together, and we each did a half hour
Oh yeah,
for like a
we
couple
probably
months?
Dynasty. You want to do Dynasty residency?
Yeah, sure. Let's just show up
Okay.
and do it. We don't have to get permission.
Yes, we will. But I met the woman, and she's cool with it.
Mary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well,
She gave me her card, and I opened for Aparna over there,
Mhm.
and was it Dynasty? I'm so sorry. Yeah, Dynasty would probably be on board about it too, but I literally was thinking of the Elysium,
Oh, yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's where I saw Sarah
which is
Schaefer's
slightly
show.
smaller, which is
Mhm.
which it's
I
not that
think
I don't believe in us, but yeah,
we just need parking. If there's a lot of parking, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
That's important.
Could do
Oh,
lyric,
that's
but
no
that's
parking.
it. There's no parking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the
Off the
opposite
table.
of parking.
Off the table.
But yeah, because it's building up slowly. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, supposedly we're doing Austin in November, but they just have the one thing set up and
On the calendar, right?
on the calendar. And according to the contract, we're supposed to be doing 2 shows Friday and Saturday, but there are shows already listed on that Friday and Saturday late night. So
What? A late night. So not
not
our
late,
early
just
shows.
second shows. So we were supposed to do 5 shows. Thursday, November 9th, live
Yeah.
Jackie and Laurie show. Friday and Saturday, 7 and 10, 7 and 10 stand-up shows. And I believe the website might be wrong. I just haven't heard back from her. So
Okay. I don't know what to do.
no, I know.
Yeah.
But
Jackie,
it would
yeah. It's. I was just talking to Harry Turjanian, just about anytime I see comics. What?
What were you talking to Harry? I don't know Harry Turjanian.
Oh, he's a New York guy, and
Okay.
he's he had people guess his ethnicity. Of course, I knew Armenian immediately, Jackie. But
that is
I
the greatest
didn't see
Armenian
anything.
name in the world. So he's a comic, and he's
Yeah.
an Armenian comic, and I don't know him. All right,
Yeah,
Harry,
he's
bring
funny.
it.
He's a funny guy. And so we're just talking about TikTok and all that kind of stuff, and then I don't know how this. Maybe this came up in our chat too. There's a guy in DC who does a full hour-long show once a month just to get clips. Which I thought that was like what? Are you okay?
It's something. That's something. No, I just think that's a lot.
It is, but I mean, because Troy Bond was at the Broadway last night and doing a show that was heavily filmed, but I think he films all of his stuff anyway. And so we were just talking about it's so weird that people, to me, it's like if you get a crowd work clip, it's an accident. Like it came out of the show that you were intending to have. And it's such a weird thing to go in directly going, I'm going to get clips.
Yeah. Yeah. To
This
aspire.
show. Instead of like, oh, some magic happened and it's so insane, let me post this.
Right.
It's like a weird. It's just a different way to look at stand up to
yeah.
But I guess
to be ready to have and people who go to the audience. I don't know. Like I don't think Pete Lee is doing. I know he's doing crowd work for clips, but I don't think he's. Like I know he has material as well,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
But he does have his GoPro right there on the stool, and he'll start talking to people,
and then he'll bring it up.
Yeah,
I could not do that. I just don't know that they know they're consenting to that, and I don't know. It's weird. People have affairs and they go to the show, and so like I talked to
those are shitbags. Who cares what if a giant reveal? What are you doing with Leslie from The Office? Says somebody's wife or husband. And,
well, what if someone's in an abusive relationship and they're out with their person that doesn't abuse them? I'm just saying, like, I always felt like the audience deserved some.
I like that you made that into something nice. Yeah,
I do.
Some bit
They
of
deserve
privacy.
some bit of privacy, but I when I was at Roosters last time, I was talking to these guys.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Jackie, do you have to insert a word every 4 words I say? It's like a tick. So I was at Roosters, and I'm talking to some tech guys that worked for Twitter, and they started revealing a lot of details where, like, if I posted the whole interaction, they could have, Elon Musk could have figured out who they were. So I left it alone. I just like put in a few things. I took enough out where you wouldn't know who they were or their opinions on where they worked or anything like that. And I was like, I don't know. I felt like they didn't even ask me out. Like, it wasn't like even known to be like videotaped interaction. It was just me doing a set and they're answering questions. I don't know, but I guess people seem to be okay with it. I wonder if a comic is going to get sued at one point for
well, I've seen more disclaimers at the beginning at clubs. You're being recorded.
Wow.
I've seen more of those by coming to the show. You consent to be being filmed. So there's that.
What if my thing, maybe yours, we post that you will not be filmed?
Is that going to be your hook?
The benefit. I appeal to criminals and cheaters. Please come to my show. The FBI and your husband will not know you're here.
On that note, let's take a quick break. Laurie, you have another great comic of the week. Let's hear about it.
That's right. Her name, I just worked with her last night, but I've worked with her a bunch of times. I see her at the, whenever I come to New York, Audrey Mora, Mora.
Okay.
And she's very funny. She's from Mexico originally. And I also feel like the way Eric Adams, the mayor, is demonizing immigrants that are coming here that are mostly from Latin America for sure. I'm like, it's so fucking brave. I don't know. I think she's being put in a tough spot by politicians in New York City. Maybe she doesn't even feel this at all or doesn't care or doesn't notice it. But I was like, I wanted to protect her when she started talking about her life.
Aw. Well, but I will say this is how like everybody's in a fishbowl of their own. She's like, this is how I live my life. I talk about being from Mexico. I'm going to talk about this stuff. So she's got to write what she's got to write. But her name's Audrey Mora, Mora.
Yeah. And she's very funny.
_ AUDREY MORA _ So she's got underscores on either side, and then it's Audrey Mora. Audrey has an E in it. Mora is just MORA. That's cool. I'd love to see her.
Those underscores are like little protective hugs that protect her from evil people in New York City
and ICE. I think it's gutsy. A lot of people say that stand-up comedy is super brave. There are genuinely brave things that people are doing by talking about, and it sounds like she's one of them. So that's neat.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be just being a woman on stage was like a political act in a way. And
still is, friend, I guess.
A bit. But I think also when you're one of those, come from one of the groups that is being heavily, politicized by the right, it's also
all the Muslim
an
comics
extra
of the
thing.
last 24 years. Yeah. Like the last 20 years of being Muslim on stage and all of that stuff. I mean, there's an emotional truth to what I'm saying.
Yes. That reminds me of, God, what's his name? He was a Persian comic in New York City, and oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. I've told the story before. What? Oh, Jackie, what? Yes, cut me off. What?
I have Lyme disease. Go.
Okay.
Say it's a tick. You say it's a tick. All right.
Oh my God.
I don't want to explain my Lyme disease joke.
You have to be stopped.
I won't speak for the next 26 minutes. Run it by yourself, sister.
Is there an open mic you can go to during my next story and you can get these out of your system?
I'll just text Kyle.
No, so he used to close on taking off his like a shirt or a jacket and really that he was wearing a vest, a suicide vest. And after 9/11, he couldn't do it anymore. Oh well. Wow, that made that terrorist act killed a lot of things, Jackie, including a great man's closer. All right, the story's done.
Great. What else you got?
That's it.
Oh, sure. I'm trying to be part of a diet. I'm trying to keep this party going. But yeah, what do you got this week? When are you home? What are you doing?
I come home on Sunday, and then on Thursday, I'm going to Cincinnati. I'm at Go Bananas Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm going out a day early because I don't want to be, you have to it's a connecting to Cincinnati and then 2 shows. It seems like it's the way the travel situation is now. I'm asking to, be delayed. So I'm going out Thursday. I'll get there early, and I think I'm going to be spending some money on Ubers. The rental car is way too expensive, but I will lose my mind in that little hotel in Blue Ash. So I will be Ubering to various cafes, coffee houses in Cincinnati. If anyone has recommendations of good places where I can just sit and work on shit, let me know. Tweet me.
I have to say that that I've never done Go Bananas. And I think I might have opened for Maria there. Is it? No, I think that's Hilarities. Everyone gets to name their own comedy clubs, Laurie.
It's true. That's the pleasure of being a club owner.
It's the only gift they get. It's I'm home for another week and a half, so I'm doing shows around LA, and I don't know. I might do another Zoom show just because it was so fun. And I would do that. And then I like tonight driving to Torrance last night. I've just been going. And also gas is $6 a gallon.
Yeah, I know. Jackie, we did a benefit together. I thought we'd get a little gas money because we drove out to Bellflower, but we didn't get any money on that. I mean,
nope.
it's the place we're doing a benefit for needs money. So I was like, all right, I guess this is my donation, but wow, that was a lot.
Oh, that, let me just tell you something about that. Looked like when I went up, I was like, all right, I'm just going to talk to these young women for a second, or old women, or completely halfway housed women. And then I'm going to try and because I'm not going to just jump right into my driving joke to a bunch of people who clearly had DUIs and or no longer have their licenses. I wonder, so I've decided I want an electric bike. And as Andy likes to say, that's not how we thought we'd lose you. But and I was like, but an electric bike, I think I could do gigs around the valley for super cheap. And
at night, you're going to ride a bike at night to stand-up shows?
Yeah, but there's a light on it. I would, and I would buy all the things like a helmet and stuff.
That's pretty dangerous.
I don't know.
You are. This is what I tell my son, who doesn't ride a bike. Is you're counting on people to. I mean, as you admit in your own act, you are a terrible driver. You're constantly looking. You're very busy when you're driving with your phone and your files and your Excel spreadsheets. And there's going to be people like you driving that are not going to see you until they run over you. That's what I would worry about.
My friend Jennifer McLean said, if you get an electric bike, you have to promise not to use your phone on it. And I was like, okay. And, but I just, the $6 a gallon, it's just so much. And my friend Kat, who lives in New York City, she rides her bike all the time in the dark in New York. And she's slightly older than we are, like 5 years older than we are.
Right.
And she lives on like the 80s Upper East Side.
I would also tell her to stop doing that immediately. But sorry, I guess I'm a downer. I mean, unless you live in the Netherlands, you can't compete with a car, you know? I'm serious. Like
Right.
they
Are
built
there
it so that,
shitty? Okay.
well, they build it so that it's bike friendly, meaning that the bikes own the streets and the cars don't. Like I read this thing where the streets actually super skinny on purpose, the lanes, because that makes cars drive slower. Our lanes are very wide. They start speeding, and I don't know. To me, it's super risky to to ride a bike in a city in the United States.
Andy's one of his best friends just bought, but he's a bike rider guy. He bought a mountain bike, electric
Hmm.
bike, and it was like 10 grand.
Wow.
I do not want a 10,000. I'm willing to light and I hope I'm not lighting. I think it will pay for itself, but if I don't, I've lit $1,200 on fire, right?
Oh, so you're committed to this?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I looked it up on Consumer Reports. What greater commitment does a white lady have?
Yelp.
Craigslist. Yeah, I pulled I got like 4 tomatoes left in my garden. My
Hmm.
fucking eggplant plant continues to just be gross and not giving me any eggplants. And I've got winter squash coming out of my ears. You don't want any part of winter squash, I'm pretty sure, right?
I don't. I am again trying to grow milkweed, and something keeps biting the leaves in very like they're not. It's not bites. It's like they're cuts. It's like some big tooth animal is cutting. They look like they have been snipped. It's so strange, and it happens at night. And I don't think it's rats because I put a bunch of rat stuff around the plants, and whatever it was, I need a nanny cam. I'm really curious to see who keeps attacking these milkweeds.
We have skunks, just a family of skunks that dig up our yard every day, just giant like aardvark anteater holes. They're looking for bugs, and so there's holes all over the yard. I don't know what to do
So
with skunks except for
wait,
not piss them off.
so you've seen them? You've seen the
Oh
skunks?
yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
Whole family,
Huh.
mama, papa, and a little toddle
Aw.
toodle
Aw.
of probably 3 or 4 little cublets or
I
whatever
used
they're
to have
called.
a family of possums, and come back, and if you want I enjoyed it. So that's my message to our possum listeners:
Okay.
come back and live in my.
They're creepy. They're creepy looking, but they're not. They get to live their lives.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know what I want out of stand-up comedy this week. I tell you, we got another 15 minutes of this, but I'm trying to figure out what I literally want to just say, you talk amongst yourselves. I got to go pick up a set. 'Cause I would like to be on stage right now.
Yeah, it's quite obvious. It's quite obvious this whole podcast you'd rather be on stage. I get it.
But I'm driving to Torrance. It's an hour. I'm bringing all the merch in the world because they're Maria's people. They will take a cut, I'm told. Um, we'll see. We'll see. I have so many of those beanies that the
Oh
idea
yeah,
of even making some money on them is a reason to bring them because I got to get them out of I had to order 500 of them.
that's crazy. That's so
Yeah.
much money you're spending up front too. Sheesh.
Right. It was like $5,200 or something.
Oh
like that.
my
It was
Dang.
Yeah, they cost $12 a piece, $13 a piece. So
fuck! How many do you sell before you break even?
I don't
you
know,
figure
but
that
I'm
out?
charging 30 and then 35 on the
Oh,
website.
you only need to sell 6 to break even. That's cool.
I have just said $5,000. I don't know what $30. Kyle, you got a calculator. $30 into $5,000.
I'm on it.
3
And
into
then
15 is 50, right?
right.
Or excuse me, 5. So I don't know. I'm
I would
tired.
have to sell 5. I've already
Oh, I
sold
got
5. Yes.
so I tweeted, all I wanted to do was tweet the word half seen. Okay. I said if people, we should come up with another word for vaccines that aren't 100% effective so that people know that they have to do extra stuff. Like it should be called the COVID half scene, right? HALFCINE. That's all I wanted to tweet,
Okay.
because I invented a word. I was so excited. It's kind of
Okay.
like a little COVID jokey stuff.
Right.
And
It's cryptic.
People came in like, no vaccines, the only polio is only 99.5%. Okay, all right, guys, you're focusing on the setup, which doesn't matter. You're overlooking my fucking word. And then somebody I don't know was like, wow, you still have time to delete this tweet. Oof.
Oh, good Lord.
I'm like, oh, you don't have to follow me if you don't want to. And then he replied something kind of like, I guess a funny, whatever, nasty. And then he deleted it and then he blocked me. I'm like, what happened?
That's old school Twitter. Maybe Twitter's back.
What I just wanted to get the word half seen out there. Okay. HALFCINE. Thank you.
Let's take a quick break and then
Okay.
I'll tell you. So yesterday I got the new vaccine, the new COVID and a flu shot. And I'm slightly, I don't feel bad. I just feel a little bit, like I got a vaccine. But I was trying to remember when I was a kid. I remember when we got the polio and the smallpox and we got all the shots when I was a little kid. And all I know is that there had been no warning. We just went to grade school. They lined us up and they shot us up. There was no consent. It was like, hey, you're all getting vaccinated today.
Yeah.
Welcome to a factory town in South Milwaukee, in Wisconsin. So we just lined up and one after another, first graders, kindergartners, whatever we were. I can't even remember. And I don't remember feeling bad or anything. All I know is that by the time I was like 11, the star-shaped thing was still on my arm. Did you have that?
Yeah, I think I still got that. Yeah.
And we would compare them. It wasn't a regular thing. Just kind of break up the day kind of thing. So
I think I got mine at the doctor's, but I'm glad you did.
Fancy, yeah.
Yeah. My parents took me to the doctor, Jackie. It was quite the luxury lifestyle.
Right. Well, clearly not 6 kids. So
no.
Do you know that I was wrestling with my brother Terry once when I was about 6 or 7, and it was right before, it was like the year before my mom died, and I cracked my skull, and my mom didn't have a car, so we all got on the bus. And she took me to the hospital, and I got 4 stitches in my brain box. Because, And then I told that story one time to Nancy. And Nancy Cation always referred to any sort of horsing around, wrestling, as the laugh-cry game. She was like, 1 minute you're laughing, the next minute you're crying. I don't want to be there for that. So stop. And so she would always go, stop playing the laugh-cry game. And she would also stick her head in with Darla and I into our bedroom and go, stop whisper fighting. I can hear you.
She's a pretty good mom for not having kids, right?
Oh, she was an amazing mom for not having kids.
To it.
And the only thing that was clear was that she wasn't psyched. That was what made her less a great mom. all of the children older than me noticed it more than I did.
Yeah.
I was like,
wow.
I bet you I've never met a parent that was psyched, is what I had. But I think Darla and Phil and those guys all had an idea that she should have been, that a parent should be psyched. And you'll be happy to know that both Darla and Phil are psyched to have children, and my brother Russ.
I'm glad to hear it. I've been told that I'm already behind the ball on water polo college stuff, and so one of the parents was like, you should have started this the sophomore year. I'm like, oh my fucking God. So here's the thing, like for swimming, swimming, it's racing. And so when you have good times, that's what coaches can look at. And they go, well, I need a breaststroker. This person got second at nationals. I'm going to try to recruit them, whatever. And it's kind of about your times. But water polo, it's a team sport. It's, everyone has stats and stuff, but it's all relative to who you're playing. And a lot of it is just coaches knowing your kid's name and schmoozing. And
your son already has press. You got to clip that out. You got to start making a scrapbook.
I know. And I was just like, fuck, more. Oh,
more tasks.
more clips. Oh, good. Fuck. One of our parents has been recording every single game, so there are incredible clips that this guy made, but I have to clip out my son's stuff. But it's like it's just a lot. Like I guess I thought the teenagers would be a lot easier, and it's just a different kind of work.
Yeah, it's just a different task. So go ahead.
No, I have to have a talk with my son. Like, do you want this? Because if you do, you have to join a club team, and this has got to be your job for like the next 2 years. Like we go to weekend tournaments, etc. Dave Williamson is a comic, is also a water polo coach, is like telling me about some stuff, and I'm like, wow, this is like a thing now. And if I'll say to him, if you're in, I'm in. But if you're not, you just want to play high school, and maybe you want to play, on a junior college team, you could do that too, and it'll be just more for fun. But if you really want to go and see how good you can be, now's the time to like make it a job.
Call it, yeah.
We'll see.
And any decision yet, or is he just
I'm going to talk to him after the season's over, or pretty soon, probably when I get back. But like, it's expensive. It's club fees, and then going to tournaments are expensive. It's like road work, but I'm only paying for airfare and hotel and getting no money. You know what I mean? So
see if you can get some work-ins. So
I will, but it won't pay anything.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, you don't have to. There's no solution. I'm just letting you know. It's like, oh, all right.
No, yeah. I was just
another thing on the old plate.
Just another thing. So at the Zoom show the other night, here's something to talk about for 8 minutes. No, whatever. But it's the Maria came in at the beginning. She was waiting for friends to show up for dinner. So she's in a restaurant sitting at a table, and she does one joke. She's like, I could do one bit. And then she did one bit. And then Virginia Jones came in and she was talking about how she had just finished Marie Bamford's book and how great it was. And now let's make it about me, because that's where I go, is that I guess I am quoted in Maria Bamford's book saying things that are wise. I have a copy of it, and I said to Maria, well, I guess I'll skim for my name then. I can't read anybody's book. I hope it all works out, but I don't care. So.
I am on I'm on a wait list for at the library for Maria's audiobook. I'll listen to it. I have found that I have a very difficult time listening to novels on audiobooks, because my mind starts wandering, but memoirs I can listen to on audio. So
interesting.
I'm on a 14-week hold.
Oh, I bought it on Audible, and what I'm doing is, last night I was driving back from West Side Theater, and I was like, why don't I just pick a chapter that I think is interesting? And so I picked the showbiz chapter, and she had this story of essentially just a handful of jobs that she had been fired from, as she just kept living in dumber and dumber apartments when she moved here. And she was loading trucks. Hello, New York.
You hear that?
Yeah. So she was loading trucks at some croissant shop in the night. And she was working with a guy named Benicio, and Benicio had to take 2 buses and had just come from community college. And they were just talking while they loaded trucks. And he was like, wait, you have a college degree? And she's like, yes. And he goes, and you're doing this? And essentially, she had it was the greatest line. It was something like, Benicio became enraged that I had not taken advantage of all of my advantages, one of which was the advantages that I have. And
I love it.
Yeah. So, but it was great. And there's the story of, I think the Debtors Anonymous chapter was really great. I listened to that on the way down to West. And then the first showbiz one was pretty great. So
the library needs to order a few more copies, because that's the longest delay I've ever been on, is 14 weeks. That's ridiculous. Wow. I mean, she'll be writing a sequel by the time I get to listen to this first one.
Nope. But yeah,
Oh my
it's
God.
really parts of it are great. Parts of it that because some of it I've heard the stories and I just but the writing is it's Maria, right? So
Mhm.
like the just the articulation of what it's called. Sure, I'll join your cult if you guys don't have it and whatever. But now it's a tiny ad for her. But her new album, I've listened to that. I bought that too because I really like the 12 step bit, and I really liked her parents trying ayahuasca bit. And so those are a couple of anyway.
Hmm. Yeah, she's great.
Yep.
What are you gonna do? We live among geniuses. We're baby giants among geniuses.
We
So we're
walk
lucky.
among giants. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, Jackie. I have ideas for reels. I did here's oh my God. So I finished a first draft of my pilot, right?
There
And
we
then
go.
well wait, so I sent the treatment to Bruce over the weekend, like, and I had every scene like lined out. So all I had to do was write each scene, which is still a lot, but it was like it's a it's a map, so it's easy in a way. So I just had a first shitty draft, and then I he we talked over Monday, and he goes, "Hey, I have to tell you, the pilot. This is not the pilot." He go, and what he was his critique was correct, and I was like,
Okay.
all right, because all the stuff I had that I had said about the characters in like the character description that needed to be in the pilot because it's three people who don't know each other coming together in one place, and
Okay.
it almost needs to be those stories need to be just like the backstories need to be told, and that it was just like, of course. Of course, I finally finish it, and it's like, oh, this isn't right. But it's okay. It's almost just moving puzzle pieces around because I
Yeah.
have all the other pieces. So it's like, all right, I can probably
Yeah.
finish this
And
pretty soon.
that's what a first draft should do, I suppose, is just sort of alert you as to what needs to be course corrected and stuff. And then you
Hmm.
will have stuff for later episodes. Is that correct?
Yes, totally.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, that's outstanding. That's
Yeah.
good to hear it.
Hmm.
Oh, by the way, we forgot to talk about how we now have merch.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So if you go to maxfunstore.com, you could buy a hat or a t-shirt with what is currently my favorite line of yours on this podcast. And then Andy made art. And then Max Fun artists kind of massaged it and did a great job. But it's Kills Like a Guy, where it's like a Bowie knife and a microphone
Oh, it's a
together.
great art, Jackie. It's not my line. It's every Booker's line that's trying to compliment a female comic.
I know, but
I
it was a
mean,
great reference.
yeah. It looks really cool. I wore the shirt. It comes in a V-neck or a scoop. I personally am a V person because I don't like things really close to my neck. So
And there is a
yeah,
unisex version. There's a unisex version as well.
yeah.
So
I mean, guys also
and a
kill like
beanie.
guys.
Yeah, guys can
Yeah,
kill like guys. Do you want to kill like
Everybody
a
should buy
guy?
the hat.
Ooh, you
yeah.
could buy the hat.
You could buy the hat. You could buy, yeah. So go ahead and check out that merch. We'll get a little bit of it, and Max Fun will get the rest of it. And you could support the show that way if you,
Yeah.
want to do something else. And it looks cool too. It's not we're not just saying you owe us $5 a month. Although I'd like to say that every week.
And but Kills Like a Guy, it's at Max Fun Store, MAXFUNSTORE.com. And then kind of wander around. And it should be up by Monday. It should be up by when this drops. Because I just pinged him again and said put it up. So hopefully it's there and hopefully you're interested because it's super fun. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think
Come
we're
on
pretty
now.
close here.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this
We're
up.
done.